Hey there everybody and welcome. My name is Rick Hutzer here with AirgunWeb, your home for old school airgun reviews where we tell you the facts, not fluff. Today it is drag race time. What are we drag racing? We're drag racing some compressors. We have three options here on the table and we're going to take a look at which one feels fastest, which, the various feature sets, and try and get an idea of if there's one over the other that you might be interested in. So that's what we're doing today. Let's get started. Okay, so we've got three compressors here. We've got the Vevor, which we just did a little unboxing on the live. Price point on this is about $350. It's the least expensive option we have on the table. And then we have the $5 to $550 range. I guess it depends on where you buy it. We have the JTS. It's like the third generation compressor. And we have the RovAir from Air Venturi. All of these compressors are maintenance-free, oil-free. They all fill about the same speed-ish, give or 10, 15 seconds or so. And they're all very, very similar. And the reality is, today's market, it's going to really come down to price point and feature set. Because I think, again, we don't know for sure, but durability on the JTS has been good. I think that's been good. The Nomad has been good. This is an unknown unit. The RovAir is still, we're going to figure that out. I mean, consumer use is going to prove that out. And we don't know necessarily about the Vevor, but all of these seem to be built pretty well and have the same basic feature set. So what do you like amongst these? Let's talk about some of the differences. So the major difference that I can see is cooling. So the RovAir has a single fan, the Vevor has two fans, and the JTS, I believe I'm correct here, has a patented cooling system, which just takes things to another level. So that's, I think, really important. Durability is going to come down to heat, frankly. The cooler you can keep the unit, the longer it's going to last, right? And I also know that JTS has some great documentations on if you need to rebuild it, and I'm hoping that the parts are going to be available to do that. So kind of lean that way. It's more money than, say, the Vevor, but I'm kind of like, I do like those options, okay? Let's see. The RovAir has a rocker switch for either 12 volt or 110, which is nice. It has the built-in converter in the back, which is nice. All of them have the built-in converter now, which is, as far as I'm concerned, that is not optional. You absolutely need that. I mean, you got to have that today. The Air Venturi and, hold on, I got this backwards. The Air Venturi and the RovAir come with a filter, which is nice. Plug that back in. And the JTS did not come with a filter, so that's, I don't know. All of them have the same basic auto shut-off system. There's a little pin. You put the pin where you want it to stop, and as the pressure swings up, it contacts the pin, shuts the compressor off. Let's see. This has got the 110 to 12 volt rocker switch. This has got the same, I believe, on the front. Yes. They have start and stop. This one actually has a button to start the fans. This one knows what power you're running basically on what do you plug into it. So if you plug the 110 in, you got power. If you plug 12 volt in, you got power. So no rocker switch on that. So I guess let's do a little drag race. So there's two tests I want to do today. One is I want to just use the test plug and see how long it takes to fill from 0 to 4,500. And then we're going to take our that's a little gauntlet bottle, and we're going to run that to 3,000 psi. So it's 13 cubic inch. We're going to go to 3,000 psi. This is relatively small, but I can empty it, and then we can have a known fill and volume and see how each one does based on something this size. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with, let's go ahead and start with the RovAir. Okay. Now I'm going to say this probably a lot during this video. Please, guys, if you're unfamiliar with these, or even if you think you are familiar with them, read the manual. It takes 5 minutes and it'll save you some headache, okay? So just do that. It's really worth it. Yeah, so let's go ahead and do our tests here. I've got a dB meter here, so we're gonna test noise. We're gonna test, first thing we're gonna do is test just fill rate on the plug. Then we're gonna switch over to our little bottle from empty to full and see how long it takes. And we're gonna do that with all 3 compressors. So we should have a pretty good idea, at least base performance here in a little bit. All right, let's get started. So I plug this in and we get our converter going. And I'm gonna switch the switch to AC power. And that gets our fan jugging. Now, I mentioned that this has 1 fan, this has 2, this has 3. This single fan's moving a good bit of air. It's pretty good. Okay. I'm going to start the timer I'm going to start the timer once I close the bleeder. Okay. Okay, we topped out on the dB meter at like 82 dB, which is pretty good. It spiked a little bit when we did when we bled it off, it went to 90 dB. But yeah, all in all, pretty decent. 45 seconds from 0 to 4,500 PSI. Yeah, let's see what it does here on the bottle. Okay, so we're hooked up. We're gonna fill our bottle. And yeah, we're gonna get our noise floor, or our noise level here. Get a timing. I'm guessing, well, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see how it is. I'm not going to make a guess. I will start the timer when I close the bleeder. Let's get started here. Turn AC on. Start the compressor. And there we go. Okay. So our noise was 84.1. Don't know if you guys can see that. All right. And our time was 6 minutes and 11 seconds. So again, I don't think that's bad. One thing, let's go ahead and shut this off. Not bleed this off. Okay, one thing. We had to do this test a couple times. One, there was an interruption, and the other one, I got to the end and it was not filling as fast as I thought. So we were up to almost 9 minutes, 8 and some change. And then I heard a leak. I will tell you that these fill very slowly. All of these do. Any tiny little leak in your line, whether it's in your line, in your fittings, in your gun, any leak at all, is going to make your compressor work that much harder to get up to pressure. You want to make sure you have dealt with all of that. Soapy water is a great way to check it. So I did continuously through that last test check this, and I was looking at, we were getting about, about 2 minutes every 1,000 PSI-ish. So when I was looking at the thing, I said, this should be about 6 minutes, and it kept right in line with that estimate, 6 minutes and 11 seconds. So we're gonna go ahead and switch off from this, and if I flip a coin, let's do the JTS next and see how it does. Be right back. All right, so now we have the JTS, and we are going to be looking at, the first thing we'll do is fill to 4,500 on the test plug, and then we will circle back around, hook up the little bottle and fill from empty. We have drained this. We have sealed up that pressure relief well, and then we will also double check it during the fill to make sure we don't have any leaks. We don't want to have to keep repeating the test if we don't have to. All right, so this guy, we'll go ahead and hook this up. We have our rocker switch. So unlike the others that have wires that you have to connect to a port, over on this guy, you see, put it in the camera there, we have our 12-volt port right here. This is actually hardwired. So the JTS cables are actually just hardwired into the system. So there is there's no other set of cables. It just works pretty slick. All right, so we're gonna switch this over to AC. And we have the same sort of thing. We've got start, off, set valve, or bleeder. Let's go ahead and get started here. Okay. That's more noise. Be curious what it tops out at here. It is moving a lot of air. Okay, here we go. So we're going to start it. And I will start the clock when I close the bleeder. Okay, really quickly, we're at 90.2 dB. 35 seconds. Go ahead and bleed this off. Nope, there we go. Okay, 35 seconds. So we were 45 seconds here, 46 seconds. So I'll have to go back and look at the tape, but about that. This thing fills very quickly. Now, it does not have a little filter on it. Does that impact fill times? Yeah, it actually will, because there's less volume this is trying to fill. So it's maybe not an exact one-to-one. We'll go ahead and fill this now and get our measure for this. Yeah, and then we'll go from there. Now, bleeding that off, we hit 100 dB. So the difference in the noise between like the RovAir at a little over 80 and this one, well, this one hits 90 when you bleed it off. We were at 100 and some change, so very loud, just so you guys know. All right, I'm going to reset this. Go ahead and connect this up, and then we'll get this test running. And we will double check our fitting to make sure we don't have any leaks. Yeah. Okay, I'll save this. And reset. Same drill. I will go ahead and start the timer when I close the bleeder. So we'll switch over to AC. She's cranking. Definitely that extra cooling, you can definitely hear it. Okay. Go ahead and start this. Okay. Not as loud as it was originally, 80.9 dB. Not bad. Let me go ahead and lead this off. And also time-wise, 6 minutes and 12 seconds. So that is, let me just look. I mean, if we go back, right? Let's see here. If we go back to our last test, that was 35, 6 minutes 11, 6 minutes 12. So yeah, it's actually the same fill rate when you're actually dealing with something of volume. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Let's go ahead and bleed this off. All right, and disconnect the power. And let's switch over to the RovAir. So let me do a little work here, and we'll switch over, and we'll be right back and do our final test. All right, first things first, we need to run our 0 to 4500 on the test plug. See how we do. Now we've got 46 seconds, 36 seconds, but we had 6 minutes, 11 seconds, 6 minutes, 12 seconds. So, I mean, margin of error, really, guys, I think, probably. Let's go ahead and run this here. Hook up our power. I do like having the gauge at the top there. Definitely gives you some insight on how hot your system's getting. Let's turn our fans on. So far, this has been the loudest at 87 dB. Pretty loud. Turn our fan off. Okay. 36.56, so let's just say 37 seconds. So even with the little filter, we were JTS speed. So I'm very curious now, how long is it going to take to fill our bottle from 0 to 3,000? I'll make sure we set this. I forgot to set it on this. Fortunately, caught it in time. So one of the things you really don't want to leave these unsupervised. You're not supposed to. So keep an eye on them, monitor them, and it's safer that way. All right, so we're ready to go here. Let me save that here. All right. Reset. Same drill. We're going to get this fired up, and once I shut the bleeder, I'll start this. We'll reset our dB meter and see what we get. So let's go ahead and do it. That's open. We're set to 3000. Let's start our fans. Okay. 87.8, we're definitely on the loud side. Okay. Whew. All right, so we got 6 minutes, 41 seconds. A little bit slower, about 30 seconds, plus or minus. Slower than these guys. Yeah, I'm curious as to why it didn't want to seal up really well. It could be this fitting is wore out. It could be that the O-ring in there needs to be replaced, or I mean, that's actually part of the whole fun with compressors is they do require maintenance, and yeah, sometimes you got to track some stuff down, like exactly what isn't quite right. But filling on the test plug, the thing rocks. So something. Well, I don't know quite what it is, but yeah, it would be fun to try it out on some other stuff, which is exactly what we're going to do. I mean, the point of this video was not to tell you buy one or the other over another one. It is to just provide raw data on fill times, operation, features, and let you guys make your own choice, make your own buying decision. So you guys got some options: the RovAir, the JTS, and the Vevor. $5 to $5.50 depending on where you buy it, and $3.50 if you buy direct. So yeah, we got some great options as air gunners these days. Yeah, when I think back to my first shooting PCP air guns, and I'm going, wow, thousands of dollars for a compressor, a lot of work to hand pump, etc., or like $350 or even $550 for basically unlimited shooting if I had the pellets. Man, that sounds really good to me. Guys, that's going to be it. Hopefully that was informative. Yeah, you got some great options. As air gunners today, we really have a lot of great options, and that's awesome. When I say it's a great time to be an air gunner, boy, it really is. My name's Rick Hughes here with AirgunWeb, your home for old school airgun reviews, where we tell you the facts, not fluff. Thanks for watching.